They put the phone next to his ear, and they told me, go ahead, say your goodbyes. My father is 67 years old. He lives in Delray Beach, very active, goes to the gym 5 to 6 days a week, involved in the community.
Hey guys!
Wanted to show you a little bit of Times Square.
So Steve traveled to New York the second week of March. He was up in New York the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th on business. And about a week after that, he started getting nauseous, and I got a little concerned. So we did a telemedicine visit with my GI, and he suggested, he didn't think it was COVID, but he said, you know, go get a test. Turns out by the time we got there, he was so bad that they took him right from the test site in an ambulance to the hospital, and I never saw him from there, from the test site. That was it.
I spoke with him the following morning. At 10:15 a.m., the doctors came into his room and they said to him, you need to get off the phone immediately. We need to put you on a ventilator. That was it. I was the last person he spoke with, and he did not even have an opportunity to say goodbye to me. My father was in a medically induced coma.
During those 28 days, it was just a complete roller coaster for me in terms of my emotions, what was happening.
He progressively got worse. His pulmonary infiltrate spread from the right lung to the left. He had to be intubated with FiO2 of anywhere from 70 to 100%.
He was decreasing his oxygen saturation even on a ventilator, and he was needing increased respiratory support. He was going into acute renal failure, and his kidneys started shutting down as well.
They told me that nobody has ever left the ICU in his condition, and they were really preparing me for the worst.
They put the phone next to his ear, and they told me, go ahead, say your goodbyes. That's not what I did. That's not what my family would have wanted. That's not what he would have wanted. He's 67. It's too soon to say goodbye. I told my dad to fight. I told him to hang on, that we were fighting for him.
We knew about the convalescent plasma. I had read an article about it, and I also saw it on the news.
We asked about plasma, and they said, we're not doing that. We pushed, and we pushed, and we pushed. Finally, they agreed.
Stephen received his first infusion on April 17th and his second infusion on April 18th.
His oxygen requirement came down to room air, that is a FiO2 of 40%. He was weaned off a steroid as well as Levofed and amiodarone.
His kidney function had improved to the point where it was almost back to normal. His chest x-ray had remarkably improved, and his lungs fields had really cleared up.
Plasma infusion was really amazing, because we documented that it was COVID positive 4 days before, and after receiving the plasma infusion 2 days later, COVID-19 was negative.
By Tuesday, we're now discussing how he's going to come off the medically induced coma. By Wednesday, they were waking him up.
Steve, it's not for people. All right, everybody's praying for you, and everybody wanting to have you back soon.
Not so long, my friend.
I would recommend that every physician consider transfusing convalescent plasma. When people think about plasma, they think about coagulation problems or clotting factors, but what they really need to think about more here, I think, is antibodies. They are killing the virus inside the patient's body. That's what we're transfusing.
It's a lifesaver. I mean, a lot of people could benefit from this. The plasma infusion is much more effective than any medication we can think of.
Whether they're really, really severe and they're having multi-organ failure, to patients who've just arrived in the hospital and are having just the initial stages of the breathing problem that go with the virus.
As a result of this treatment, it means the world to me that my father is alive today, that I'm gonna have another vacation, another late night phone call, someone to be there for the birth of my children. What it really came down to were the doctors and the nurses and the plasma. That's what saved his life.